being real myself. My dad can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real weapons being real myself. My dad can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help.
Money, money, money. Money, money. I know you like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, not having it is. Deuteronomy 8:18 that God gives us the ability to create money. No, it's the love of money that's the root. You don't want money so much, why you get up and go to work? Yeah, I do get about money. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. Now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor, devoted class, Mr.
Good morning, Black world, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning live with your main man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth-building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. It's truly an honor, privilege, and a blessing to come to you live and direct from the Black Billionaire Club studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. The Black Billionaires Club is responsible for the Generational Wealth Building Conference coming up this April 6th through the 8th in Atlanta, Georgia. If you want to learn how to build generational wealth, you want to partner with a team of people that's doing it, you want to be a part of the solution and not just the problem and not just talk about the problem, you got to make your way to Atlanta April 6th through the 8th to attend the Generational Wealth Building Conference. What you want to do is go to wealth.joincorteznow.com. You still got a couple weeks to make reservations, make your arrangements. Whether you got to fly in, bus in, train in, whatever the case is, wealth.joincorteznow.com. You can buy a weekend pass and attend all of the events, or you can buy a ticket for each individual workshop as well. But you want to be in the building. And you also want to, if you're a business owner, want to get your business in front of people who want to spend money with Black-owned businesses, then you might want to advertise in the circular that's going to be published for the event as well. Very cost-effective ways to do that. So wealth.joincorteznow.com. Do me a huge favor. If you're checking us out on YouTube, then I need for you to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Yes, we will hit that. So 2,000 subscribers in the month of March. And how are we going to do that? Because you guys are going to help us do that. We are sitting right now at 1,811 subscribers. So we need a couple of hundred subscribers to hit our mark, man. So I'm confident that we can do that. So make sure you subscribe to the page if you haven't already. And then make sure you rate the show and then hit the share button and share it on your Google+, share it on your Facebook page, share it via Twitter, whatever comes up as an icon when you hit share on YouTube, share it to those places for me. And let other people start their day with some good positive information about wealth is what we talk about primarily, and money and success and different strategies to attain it. But it's important that we start having the conversation, man. The reason that most of us are in the situations that we are in is because money was never a subject of discussion in our households. If it was a subject of discussion, it was always discussed in the negative. Why we don't have money, or we don't got money for this, we don't got money for that, we can't afford this, we can't do this. We got to flip that dynamic, man. We got to change the way that we talk about money, change the way we see money. And that's why I do this show every morning, Monday through Friday, to start your mindset thinking on the ability to create prosperity for yourself. So make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Facebook. You guys do the same thing, man. I don't know if you guys have already shared the stream. If not, that is the cost of admission for Talking Money in the Morning, is you have to hit the share button and share with your followers and the people on your timeline Talking Money in the Morning live, so they can get up with some positive information in their ear each and every morning as well. Also, if you have not liked the Financial Health Mentor page, hit the like button and make sure you turn on the notifications. Bethany Rucker in the building. Top of the morning, Queen, SB Essential Oils. Make sure you turn on the notifications because I'm always putting good information on that page. The goal is to have, I've been on a Facebook break. Okay, nothing wrong with that, Queen. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you got to detoxify yourself. But make sure you turn on notifications because it's always quality information on the Financial Health Mentor page. I'm always giving tips. I'm always going live. I'm always posting articles and things that will make you think and give you the resources that you need to build your own economy. Today's show is also brought to you by the Black Wealth Movement. If the name of the game for you is to build generational wealth, you saying, Cortez, I will put in the work. I have the discipline. I have the desire. I want to. I need to. I just don't have a game plan. Well, the Black Wealth Movement does. Starts with entrepreneurship. We teach the ins and outs of entrepreneurship. Because we teach entrepreneurship, we teach you tax minimization. We teach you debt elimination. We teach you credit education. We teach you investing. All for less than $50 per month. It'll be $70 to start, then less than $50 per month. We can help you get on the road to financial freedom and success. To date, I've helped over 500 families get on the road to financial freedom and success. And I want to help more and more of our people do the same. But you got to step out on faith and trust that we can make that happen for you. So all you got to do is text Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887. And I will share with you some information and you decide whether or not it is for you or not. All right, here we go. 7 laws of success according to Dr. Dennis Kimbro. And what we were looking through is a study. I've been waiting to get my hands on this little gem for a while. This is the Wealth Choice by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. It is the follow-up to Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. Updated with a lot more millionaires created since that original publication was put together. It's a lot of the same thing, man. Studying Black excellence in the terms of wealth building, and then learning what these people did and what they went through to create their success. If you want to study, become successful, you have to study successful people, not as they are now. This is the mistake we're making. You don't study successful people as they are now. You study the habits that they had on their way to their success. Does that make sense? You don't study successful people. You don't look at Oprah's life now and say, I'm going to do what Oprah is doing today so I can become Oprah. No, you have to go back and look what Oprah did for 30 years to get to where she is today. When she was that anchor woman in a small station in Chicago, what was her work ethic like? What did she do in her spare time? How much time did she put in? How did she hone her craft? How did she set her goals? You go back and you start studying what she was doing then. That's what you need to start doing. Most of us look at someone successful and we start trying to do what they're doing today. That's not how it works, because you don't have the resources that they have today. You can't do what they can do. You don't have the name recognition that they have today. You have to go back and study Oprah's habits before anybody knew Oprah was Oprah, but Oprah. I want y'all to catch that. You have to go back and study Oprah, the Oprah that she was before anybody knew that she was Oprah, but Oprah. See, she always knew that this is where she'd end up, but nobody knew that but her. You need to go and study that Oprah and watch her progression and what she went through. What were her habits? What were the things she was doing? What was her thought process? What were the books that she was reading? Who was she hanging around? What were the places that she was going? What kind of businesses was she starting? How did she put all of that together? What did she have to go through? How many no's did she have to take to make it happen? Right? The name of this book is The Wealth Choice. by Dr. Dennis Kimbro, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires, the wealth choice, right? So we went over the first three yesterday, so I'll give you a quick recap. Number one, law of wealth is knowledge. Knowledge, right? Most people say incorrectly that it takes money to make money. And you guys on YouTube, man, let me know what city you guys are from and interact with the show. I see your comments real time as well. Most people say incorrectly that it takes money to make money, and that's not correct. It takes knowledge to make money. It takes knowledge to make money. Because if you think about Microsoft had the knowledge of understanding what the DOS operating system would become, right? And that's what all computers are based on today. Bill Gates didn't have the money. He had the knowledge. Because he had the knowledge, he took that knowledge and he sold Paul Allen on the knowledge of what this thing could become. And Paul Allen invested the first $50,000. Bill Gates created $50,000 from his knowledge. Then they formed Microsoft, and it's been on and popping ever since. What kind of knowledge? You got to make sure you have a working knowledge of the system that you're in. We are in a capitalistic democracy. If you don't understand that, and if you don't understand how capitalism works, you will never be wealthy. Because capitalism simply says this: those who know capitalize on those who don't know. And if you don't know how capitalism works, even if you fell into some wealth, those who know how capitalism works will systematically extract that wealth from you until you have nothing, because you don't know how capitalism works. Make sure you understand your industry that you're involved in, your products and your services, right? Wealthy people read 3 to 4 books per month, watch less than 4 hours of TV per day. Are you on track to be wealthy? All you got to do is ask yourself, how much TV am I watching? That'll tell you. Ask yourself how many books you're reading on a regular monthly basis. That'll tell you. Number 2 is decision. Poor and middle class people take forever to make a decision, and they're quick to change their mind about that decision. Poor and middle class people take forever to make a decision, then they're quick to change their mind about that decision. Wealthy people make decisions quickly, and they are slow to change their mind about that decision, because they understand commitment. They understand how to stick to something and make it work, right? Number 3, believe in yourself when no one else does. All things are possible for him that believes. That comes from the good book. It doesn't say all things are possible for him who's got his family supporting them. In my line of work, my primary business is a network marketing company. I made it to the top of my network marketing company, and that's my primary business. That's the one that pays the bills around here, right? That's one allowed me to walk away from my job. And I hear a lot of people saying that or quitting on themselves because other people aren't supporting them. A lot of people quit on themselves because other people aren't supporting them. Man, I tried to talk to my wife. I tried to talk to my brother. They won't do it, so I'm quitting. Good book says all things are possible for him that believes. Do you believe that you can get it done? Do you believe in yourself? Because that's all that's required. To have other people believe in you, that's good, but it's not required. You have to believe. Number 4, wealth law number 4, to thine own self be true. So I got to do better with the decision-making process. We all do. We're all works in process, Toriano, Tito. We all got to get better with making the decision. What I like to say is that I make a decision and then I make that decision right. See, sometimes we spend so much time trying to decide whether we're making the right decision or not. No, just make the decision, then I make that decision right by the things I back that decision up with, right? Make the decision, then make that decision right. Law of wealth number 4, to thine own self be true. And what that simply means is you have to discover your passion. The most powerful resource on the planet, according to Dr. Dennis Kimbro, is the passionate and committed mind. And I want you to think about this for yourself. The most powerful resource in the world is the passionate and committed mind. I want you to think about something that you wanted really, really badly. Something that you had a burning desire and passion to get. And then I want you to look back and think about how much hell and high water did you have to go through to get it. Can anybody relate? Am I talking to myself this morning? Yes, I am. You guys just get to hear me out loud. That's what I want you to think about, something that you wanted. You had a burning desire for it. I don't care what it was, how big, how small. You had a burning desire for it. You had to go through hell and high water to get it. I want to ask you a question. Why didn't you let the hell and high water stop you? See, some of us right now are in situations where we're not giving the best of ourselves because this obstacle, because this challenge, because this person. There was something in your life that you wanted, whether it was somebody you wanted to date, whether it was a particular car, whether it was a shirt, a pair of designer jeans, a piece of jewelry. There's something that you wanted in your life. You had to go through hell and high water to get it. And nothing stopped you from getting it. That passion, that desire, that fire that you had to obtain that thing, you need to figure out how to develop that passion, that fire, that desire to build generational wealth for you and your family. You absolutely have to. To thine own self be true. So you have to ask yourself a few questions to unlock and uncover and discover your passion. Ask yourself, what comes easy to you? There are certain things that you do that just comes easy to you. People around you saying, girl, how you do that? Bro, how you do that, man? That's amazing that you can do that. These things come easy to you. Ask yourself, what are the things that come easy to you? What are things that you would be doing if you were not getting paid to do those things? If money was not an object, what would you be doing? This is how you discover and unlock your passion. Ask yourself, what are you doing today that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you could still see yourself doing? Crystal, welcome to the broadcast. Ask yourself, what are some things that I'm doing today that I can see myself 10 years down the road, I can see myself still doing those things, right? I have a passion for youth sports, basketball in particular. 20 years from now, I can see myself in somebody's smelly gym, still teaching a kid how to shoot a proper left-hand layup, still teaching a kid how to go hard in the gym, teaching them how to train themselves, how to become better athletes and better ball players, better students, right? Ask yourself these questions, because you're not going to build the wealth that you want to build without a passion and a desire. But you got to uncover that passion and desire. What is your area of excellence? What are the things that you do extremely well? And for whatever reason, You just never rush through these things. You're very particular about doing this certain thing extremely well. We're talking about uncovering your passion, right? If you can't answer those questions for yourself, I want you to talk to the 5 or 6 closest people to you and say, what do you think my passions are? Rashawn, what's going on, my brother? What do you think my passions are? When you see me, what do you see? Sometimes other people can recognize your passions. Sometimes other people from an objective perspective can say, hey, you're really good at this. I don't know why you're not doing this for yourself. You're really good at this. I don't know why you haven't turned that into a business yet. And that might help a light bulb click for you. Because here's the thing about your passions. Your passions are what leads you to your purpose. Your passions will lead you to your purpose, but only if you can determine how to get paid from those passions. See, all of us are passionate, and we've been passionate about some things all of our lives, and we just haven't realized it. But because we had to walk away from our passions to go make a dollar on a job, chances are you're not walking in your purpose either, because you couldn't stick with your passion long enough. You stay with your passion long enough, it will lead you to your purpose. Yeah, tapping into your giftings, Tony. What's going on, brother? You stay with your passions long enough, it will lead you to your purpose. And here's the thing about the purpose. Where your purpose is, there too lies your provision. See, I'm doing my purpose right now, and in doing my purpose, all of my bills are paid. There's food on the table because I'm walking in my purpose. God doesn't say, here's your purpose, but while you're doing your purpose, you got to also figure out how to feed yourself. He says, no, do your purpose, and I'm going to bring your provision to you, and it's going to be packaged within your purpose. You got to understand your passion. Be true to thyself is law of wealth number 4. Law of wealth number 5 is service. The greatest and the most successful people on the planet from a standpoint of wealth, the reason they are more successful than you is because they serve more people than you. The reason some of these other people that you look up to in terms of wealth, the reason they have more money than you, because they serve more people than you. Are you serving more people? I'm trying to serve more and more people every day. This is my service. I'm doing my service right now. I'm serving you guys right now. And I try to serve more and more people every day with what I do. Are you serving your way to wealth? Right? Service is the price that we pay for the space we occupy. The reward for the amount of people you serve is directly related to your success. The more people you serve, the more successful you are. Some of us get caught up with, I have products and services to sell, and I know if I sell these products, that earns me a commission. So I'm more focused on selling the product and earning the commission. M. Jack, what's going on, my brother or my sister? Appreciate you for joining the broadcast on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, but also type in the chat where you're from and the name of the business that you're building. You never know, somebody might want to connect with you, right? So are you serving your way to wealth? A lot of us are in service or sales-based industries, and all we can think about is selling a product or service. No, get that out of your head and start thinking about, how can I serve somebody and help somebody with this product and or service? Because when you're serving people, then that's where your wealth is created. Write this equation down. Q plus Q plus MA equals C. Q, the letter Q, plus Q plus MA equals C. And what that simply stands for is the quality of your service plus the quantity of your service plus your mental attitude equals compensation. Yes, yes, and do your service for us by sharing this stream. Yes, that is your service. Yes, share the stream, share the stream. So Q plus MA equals C. Q plus MA equals C. Q plus MA equals C. Quality of your service plus the quantity of your service plus your mental attitude equals compensation. J Miles, what's going on, my brother? Quality of your service plus quantity of your service plus your mental attitude equals your compensation. So if you're not being properly compensated, ask yourself, what is your mental attitude like? Ask yourself, what is the quantity of your service? How many people are you serving? Ask yourself, what is the quality of your service? Are you serving people with a smile on your face? Q plus MA equals C, compensation. That's the deal, right? Are you adding value to people's lives? Because when you add value to people's lives, they will pay you. They will compensate you. Not always money, but there is always an exchange. When you add value to someone's life, they will exchange. Again, what's your exchange? Hit the share button. If I'm adding value to your life right now, hit the share button. Simple exchange. If I'm adding value to your life right now, hit the share button. Number 5, you got to serve your way to wealth. Number 6, my favorite. Number 6 is my favorite. Be in business for yourself. Law of wealth number 6, be in business for yourself. Wealthy people earn profits. Poor and middle class people earn wages. And here's the thing. Here's why more people are earning wages than profits. Because the profit that you start out earning don't usually equal the effort that it takes to earn them. William, what's going on? First 4 laws is law number 1 is knowledge. Law number 2 is decision. Got to be able to make a decision and stick to it. Law number 3 is believe in yourself. Law number 4 is know thyself, or know your passion. Law number 5 is service. You got to be willing to serve others to make your dreams come true. Law number 6, be in business for yourself, man. See, when I started out in my business, the effort that I put in to earn my profits, it was lopsided. I was putting in this much effort and I was earning this much profit down here. This is why most people chase wages instead of profits. Because when you're chasing wages, you can start out putting in this much effort and you make this much profit, or you make this much in wages. It's usually pretty equal. Because on your job, you do just enough to keep them from firing you, and they pay you just enough to keep you from quitting, right? So that's pretty equal. And I can put in my effort today, and then next week I can get paid. Put in my effort today, and I know a check is coming next week. When I started my business, I will put in this much effort. Not only did I make profits down here, I didn't even know when those profits were coming. But what I know about the law of reciprocity if you keep sowing seeds, you don't eventually reap a seed, you eventually reap a harvest. That means every time you put a seed in the ground and you do what you're supposed to do to get that seed to come and grow to maturity until it bear fruits, that seed will always bear fruit of like kind and more than itself. So I was putting in this much effort, making this much wages or making this much profit, and I never knew when the profits were coming. But I knew the law of reciprocity. Now, guess what, y'all? 3 years later, it's flipped. I make this much profit and I put in this much effort. On top of that, I make a lot of my profits with no effort of my own because I make my income via leveraged. Right? I learned how to make leveraged profits, meaning I make profits that don't require my effort because I understand business. I understand the system that we are living in. The system that governs this nation is capitalism. And what is capitalism? It is a political and economic system. So you got to understand a little bit about politics. You got to understand a little bit about the economic system and how they fit together. Be in business for yourself. You guys heard the old biblical saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. But when you teach him how to own the pond, you'll feed him for generations to come. It's time for us as Black people to start owning the pond, y'all. It's time for us to start owning the pond. A lot of us are still waiting for somebody to give us a fish every day. Right? And if that person, and whenever you give someone permission to feed you, by default, you're also giving them permission to starve you. Right? On your job, you give it, most people don't look at it like this. And I don't want you to think that this is cynicism towards anybody who's working a job, but I do want you to know what you signed up for. When you work a job, you're giving your boss permission to feed you. You're giving your boss, your company, permission to put a roof over your head. You're giving your employer permission to create a lifestyle for you. But what most people don't realize is by default, you're also giving them permission to starve you. You're giving them permission to remove that roof from over your head. You're giving them permission to reduce your lifestyle whenever they feel like it. Come on, let's keep it all the way 100. You lose your job today. Most people, if they lose a job, they are out of work 7 to 18 months, something like that, to find a job that is comparable. Now, you can lose a job making $40,000, $50,000 a year, and you might be able to go and take a lesser paying job. But most people, to find a job that is comparable to the one they lost, that's 7 to 18 months. Right? So in that 7 to 18 months, while you don't have a job, your lifestyle is shrinking. And that 7 to 18 months, you could be on the verge of losing your home because most of us are living paycheck to paycheck. So when one of those paychecks stop coming in, that's a drastic shift. When you give someone permission to feed you, you also give them permission to starve you. This is why you've got to look at entrepreneurship, especially when you have a good job. You got a good job and things are going good on the job. Get something going while the sun is shining. Don't wait for it to start storming in your life. Best time to buy an umbrella when the sun is shining. You don't wait till it starts to storm, till it starts pouring down, raining to buy an umbrella. It's not the best time. You need one at that time, but that's not the best time to buy one. So think about entrepreneurship, right? Because you don't want to give someone permission to starve you, right? You think about all the people who are successful. There's a very small few people who became wealthy through a job only. It's a small percentage of people who only worked a job and was able to live below their means and take their extra money and start investing them over a 40-year career. And when they retire, they're straight. Only 4% of people on this planet is able to do that. Only 4%, right? So you want to make sure that you take a look at entrepreneurship. Now, I know what you're saying, Cortez. Everybody can't run a business, and you are 100% correct. In fact, everybody shouldn't run a business, but everybody can own a business. Everybody can own a business. What do I mean? You can own pieces of company through the stock market. You can own pieces of private equity businesses. You've got a friend who's the best mechanic in the world, and his wife is the best bookkeeper in the world. They just don't have the money to start their own shop. Well, you become the financier of their own shop. He does the service, she keeps the books. Now you own a business, but you don't have to run the business, right? You become 10% owner in 10 different businesses. Now you own 100% of a business and you're running none of them. Everybody can't run a business, but everybody should own a business. It's time for us to start owning the pond. Poor people keep score with cars and clothes. Middle-class people keep score with degrees and title. Wealthy people keep score by their net worth. Understand? You guys agree? Poor people keep score, cars and clothes. That's how they measure their success. Middle-class people, degrees and titles. Now, of course, this is not everybody, but for the most part, middle-class people, their titles are important to them. Their degrees are important to them. That's how they measure their success. Wealthy people measure their success by their net worth. Right? So, are you on the path to being wealthy? What is your net worth like? My net worth grows every single day because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. So my business grows every day because of the type of businesses that I grow. Right? Constantly focusing on buying assets, paying down debts, right? Managing my expenses so I can manipulate my net worth every day. Most people who work jobs only are not even thinking about what their net worth is like. Well, I thank you. I appreciate that. Verna says, you're a good teacher. I've only been on a couple of shows, so many great points. Thank you. I appreciate that. How can someone find out what their net worth is? Well, you simply look at all the things that you own versus all the things that, all the money that you owe. The things that you own, right? The things that you own that have value. Let me make that clear. Not all the things that you own, because people start thinking about all the clothes and all this. No, the things that you own that actually have value. That means if you were to resell those things today, somebody would give you a good amount of money for those things. All the things that you own versus all the things that you owe, right? So for instance, my net worth is still negative because I'm upside down in my house. I have about $40,000 in student loans that I owe because of my children. I've sent my kids to school and we've gotten loans. So you think about it, you take all of my businesses and what they're worth, right? My businesses are collectively worth a couple $100,000, right? But I owe about 400 grand. When you add my house, my student loans, and things of that nature, everything that I owe is about 400 grand. So I've got a couple $100,000 in assets, but what I owe is about 400 grand. So my net worth is like a negative 150,000. Right? So look at all the things that you own that have value, and then all of the things that you owe. What kind of debt do you have? And if that number is a plus, then you have a positive net worth to that degree, right? Or if that number is minus, you owe more than you actually own, then you have a negative net worth. You want to do something about that. You want to do something about that. So that's why I fight hard every day to continue to get my debts down, because that's flipping my net worth. And I add value to my business every day. I buy an asset almost every week, right? So that's changing that scenario and situation for me, right? And some people say, well, that's really not your debt because, you know, that's your son's school debt, right? Well, it's my responsibility to pay for their education. So their student loan debt is my debt. They will never have to pay that because it's my responsibility as their father to take care of their education. So yeah, they have to take loans to go to school, but they're not going to pay those. I'm going to pay those because I should have been in a position to write a check for them to go to school. And because I wasn't, I'm not going to put that burden on them. I'll take care of their student loans. So, but that's how you determine what your net worth is. All right. Last but not least, number 7 is make thy money grow. Law of wealth number 7, make thine money grow. You have to make your money grow, y'all. You've heard it said that it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And I'm going to argue that it's not what you keep either, it's what you do with what you keep. It's not what you keep, because a lot of people are keeping more of their money because they have no expenses. You think about there's a lot of people who live in the projects. Well, they live in the projects, or I know a lot of brothers who live with women who live in the projects. They have no rent to pay, right? So because they have no rent or mortgage to pay, they work a job. Now their job is paying them a lot of money, and they get to keep that money and do whatever they want to do with it because they don't have an expense. They might make $2,000-3,000 per month. They have no rent, and all they have is a $700 car note when you add their car note and their insurance. So they're keeping a lot of their money. But it ain't what you do with what you keep. It's not what you keep, it's what you do with what you keep. Because if you spend every dime that you're keeping, you're not building wealth. Period. And that's what a lot of us are doing. We are figuring out ways to keep a little bit more of our money, but instead of using it to get out of debt, to buy assets, we're using it to buy junk, to spend, and to splurge. And that's why we have very little wealth in our community. 27% of Black Americans spend more money than they make. 30% have no savings. 35% of all Black children are born into poverty. 40% of Black people don't bank at all. No bank accounts. They dealing with check cashing places, payday lending places, and things of that nature. They don't have any banking affiliation at all, right? So how are those people going to make their money grow? Chances are they're not. So you have to figure out things that you can do to make your money grow. If you have a business, my number one investment is into my business. Every time I make a profit in my business, I turn around and reinvest that profit back into my business. And I'm continue to scale my business up, right? Every time I make a profit on my business, I take some of that profit and I buy some sort of asset that's going to grow in value. And that continues to add value to my business. I'm making my money grow on a week-to-week basis, right? So if you want to make your money grow, want to buy some assets, let me give you a couple places. Number one, join the Black Wealth Movement. That's number one. Because one of the quickest ways you say, Cortez, I don't have any extra money to invest right now. Well, take any extra money that you have and pay down your debts. Because that's like giving yourself a pay raise when you start paying off your debts, right? But here's one simple thing that you can do. Doesn't cost you any money. You can set up a free affiliate account to start buying gold by the gram, right? This is one of the things that I do every now and then. I take about $70 and I buy me a gram of gold. Right? Because I'm changing my paper currency into gold. And I'm talking about physical gold, right? That you can hold and possess. Keep it in a safe deposit box if you want to, or you can keep it safe in your house, right? So gold.financialhealthmentor.com. Let me put that in the chat. It's free to set up an account. And then you can start buying gold by the gram. Not a whole lot of money. About 70 bucks will get you a gram. And this company will store the gold for you, or you can have it shipped to you by the gram. What I do is I accrue about 10 grams, and then I have them send me 10 grams all at one time instead of paying for shipping for each individual gram, right? That's an option that you can use to save, right? If you don't already have a brokerage account set up a brokerage account and start transferring money to that brokerage account, right? Yeah, silver too. Set up a brokerage account, and every time you get paid, you start transferring some money to that brokerage account and start buying stock in the companies that you shop with and spend money with on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis. Some of you guys drink Starbucks coffee every day. Set up a brokerage account, start putting some money over into your brokerage account, and once or twice a month, you take what you put in there and you go buy you some shares in Starbucks coffee. You're drinking it every day. You go in there, you stand in line, you see that they're doing it, you're doing well. You see that they're doing well because you stand in a long line to get your coffee. You need a brokerage account to be able to access the market in that way. Some of you guys are very, very loyal to a particular car brand. All you drive is Toyotas. All you drive is Hondas. All you drive is Chevys. Well, open up your brokerage account and start putting money over there every time you get paid, whether it's $25, $50, $100, or whatever. And then once a month, you say, hey, I've been driving Chevys for 50 years. Well, go and buy you some shares of stock in Chevy. These are brands you're loyal to. You're marketing and advertising for these brands all day, every day. Right? Some of you guys are younger and you got young kids, and every time your kid leaves the house, they got on Nike everything. I'm not a knock on you putting Nike everything on your baby. I am a knock on you if you're putting Nike everything on your baby and you don't own any Nike stock. You are advertising and marketing for a company. You might as well own a piece of that company. Now you can advertise and market for them all you want to. Because when people go and buy their Nikes too, they're helping your company grow. Simple ways to make your money grow. Last thing, and this is the most profound thing that I learned and I picked up from Dr. Kimbro in this message. It's building wealth is not about cash as much as it is about courage. Everybody put in the chat for me, cash versus courage. Building wealth is not as much about cash as it is about courage. These laws of success, these laws of wealth, they take more cash. They take more courage than they do cash. It takes courage to take time out of your day to go study and to learn when everybody else is watching Housewives. Everybody else is caught up in March Madness, watching basketball all day. It takes courage to pull yourself away. It takes courage to make the decision to build wealth for your family when everybody around you is talking about YOLO, you only live once, man. So spend this money, splurge this money, go have a good time with this money. It takes courage to say, you know what? Instead of spending this money, I'm going to use this money to build wealth. Right? Takes courage. Takes courage to believe in yourself, man. Takes courage to believe in yourself and to really go after your dreams. That takes a tremendous amount of courage, right? It took courage for me to walk off my job. I was making a somewhat of a decent middle class living, but I was making a wage, and I knew that profits were better than wages. It took courage for me to walk off that job. So you know what? I'm gonna start making profits full time. Takes courage. Now I'm not telling anybody to walk off their job to chase profits, but you want to get some profits coming in to go along with your wages. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how the combination of the two works best in terms of building generational wealth. Takes courage, man. Takes courage. Takes courage to serve people in a country where everybody is busy serving themselves, right? Takes courage. Takes courage to chase and follow your passions, right? Where you might take it, you might take a pay cut to do to work a job where your passions are there, versus working a job that you have no passion about, but this job pays more. It's not my passion, but it pays more, so I'm over here doing this. But what you're doing is you're killing yourself inside because you would rather be doing this. You'd rather be doing something on your passion. Both are tools. Together, you build wealth. Absolutely. I'm trying to get the courage to buy this rental property. Yeah, it takes courage. It takes courage to invest, to put money out there into marketplace, into business, and there's no 100% guarantee that you're going to get that money. When I go to work on a job and I work 1 hour for a company, I am guaranteed that I'm going to get payment compensation for that 1 hour. Don't work that way in business. Don't work that way with investments. Takes courage. So if you're going to build generational wealth, understand the true meaning of courage. Because TV makes you think that courage is about being fearless. No, people with courage feel fear. They just keep moving in spite of fear. We think that people who've got courage do not feel fear. That's incorrect. I feel fear every day about what I should be doing to grow my business. When I make an investment, when I pour money into my business, I feel that fear every day. But I have the courage to keep moving forward in spite of that fear. So M. Jack, it's going to take courage for you to move forward in spite of the fear that you're feeling to invest in this real estate property. Do your due diligence and then make a decision, and then make that decision right. That's the key. Sometimes we take forever to make a decision, and then once we make that decision, we change our mind quickly about that decision before the decision can even pay off. Right? Yeah, you gotta take that fear and turn it into fuel. Absolutely. So that's it for today's show. Appreciate you guys for all hanging out. Appreciate the engagement. I love when you guys talk back to me. You guys know that this show is not about you. This is me teaching and educating myself. I'm just talking out loud, and you guys get to witness. So again, today's show is brought to you by the Generational Wealth Building Conference. And if you're in the Atlanta area, April 6th through the 8th, then you absolutely want to get your tickets and attend that event. If you're in the Kansas City area this weekend, March 24th, I will be in Kansas City, 3210 Michigan Avenue, teaching a wealth building conference from 8:30 until about 1:30. If you want information on the Black Wealth Movement, it's a simple concept, inexpensive for coaching, mentorship on how to build wealth from scratch. And that's the key phrase, from scratch. See, anybody, if you got money already, you got $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 sitting to the side, you can talk to any of these professionals and they will teach you how to make that money grow. What we're good at is teaching you when you're upside down with your net worth. We teach you how to build wealth when you're living paycheck to paycheck. We teach you how to grow from there. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is doing that. You go sit down with a financial advisor or a financial planner, and they do your financial needs analysis, and you tell them you don't have $300, $400, $500 a month to invest. You know what they're gonna say? Come back when you get it. We teach you how to build wealth from where you are. So until I talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every one of you. Peace out, y'all.